Hey, it's Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum, and today we're talking about dating because guess what? That's right, I've been dating. It's been 2 years since my divorce, and I'm here to tell you, ladies, that things are pretty good on the other side. Now, I've heard from many of you in the MOTS community that dating can be stressful, awkward, and scary, and I've had experiences that fit into all three of these categories. I'm going to share one of those stories with you today. But also, I have to say that dating is pretty freaking fun. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tips for keeping yourself safe, and I hope you'll also feel open to exploring new adventures because dating can be a really fulfilling way of getting to know different sides of yourself and growing in ways you never imagined. I know I definitely have. First, we're going to talk about how to actually find people to date. But before that, I wanted to share I think many of us know how good it feels to wear your partner's oversized stuff, especially as an autistic person. We tend to like that big, comfy fit. Well, what if you could have the boyfriend jacket without the actual boyfriend? Hey, maybe it's the chapter of life you're in right now. That's why I have the Travel Essentials Comfort Hoodie, and I've shared comfort stuff on my channel before. It's the best. It's made out of weighted material. This jacket has not 2 pockets, but 7 pockets. I've got my earbuds here in this tiny little shoulder pocket. And then down here, there's a pocket inside of pockets. There's a little mesh pocket. And I had my fidget in here. It's on the other side, I think. I've also got room for my fidget pin. And then there's a secret side pocket over here. What did I put in here? Oh, chapstick, obviously. So if you're interested in having your own boyfriend hoodie without the boyfriend, I'll put the link to this in the description, and the link that I'm sharing gets you 15% off. So check that out. But obviously this does not go with my outfit, so we're going to leave it over here for now. Okay, so how do we actually meet people? The idea of getting on the dating apps might sound pretty dreadful, I know, and we're going to talk about other options, but unfortunately, dating apps are probably the most popular way a lot of people are meeting these days. And I'm not personally connected to any apps that I'll mention here, but I have tried Hinge and Bumble, and I've had fun dates through connections I've made on both of those platforms. Here are some positive things about using the apps to find people to date. First of all, you can screen the dating pool before opening yourself up to anything in person. When someone swipes right or expresses interest in you, you can message that person, ask questions, get to know each other a little bit before making any in-person commitments. You can also send and receive voice memos, and this can be a better indication of the other person's energy, tone, intentions. You can also communicate a lot more humor this way, which is really important to me in a relationship, to be able to laugh, right? Secondly, as a generalization, women are notorious for being able to sniff out some serious dirt on men with just a little bit of information. And I personally think autistic women can take this even further with our special interest and research skills. So take what you can from their profile, do some digging. It's pretty easy to do a background check online or at least research someone's place of employment, possibly some people they're connected to. This can give you a lot of really important information. You can also process information on your own timeline. So when someone sends you a message or asks you to meet up for coffee, there's no urgency involved. You can take the time you need to assess the situation before making a decision. And this can be really helpful for the delayed processing that tends to happen with a lot of us autistic individuals. Now for some other ways to meet people that aren't dating apps. You could join a group related to your special interest. Maybe that's a cake decorating class, a cooking class. You can hang out in places that attract the kind of people that you're interested in. Maybe the library, an art museum, gardens, video game arcades, really anywhere you'd like to hang out in real life outside of your home. Unfortunately, you do have to put yourself out there sometimes. You can't just always stay in your safe, cozy cave. No one's going to magically appear in your living room, and that would be pretty creepy if they did. Another way to meet people is to wear the pair ring. I don't know if anybody's heard of this. Again, I'm not associated with this or trying to promote it, but it's this bright turquoise silicone band. You can just buy a generic one. It doesn't have to be this brand. It's a little bit of a social experiment, and you're supposed to wear this bright turquoise band out in public if you're open to dating and looking for someone. And the idea is you see someone else wearing one, and it means that you can approach them. So a lot of people are going to have to start doing this for it actually to be a viable way to meet people, but I like the idea of it, so I wanted to share it. This is for those of you who are kind of more karmically wanting to attract someone to you. So check out the pair ring if that interests you at all. Let's talk about safety now. So let's say you've been messaging someone on the apps and you're ready to meet them in person. This can be scary. And here are some things that you need to do to stay safe, especially as a woman. It's very important that we protect ourselves. First of all, Definitely recommend that you FaceTime them before agreeing to meet them in person. Make sure that they line up with the pictures on their profile and they have the same energy that they're giving off in their messages. Everyone gets nervous and there can be a bit of a discrepancy here, but in general, just trust your gut. I did not FaceTime someone before meeting up at an art museum, and I'll tell you the story. But definitely FaceTime first because it can give you a lot of information. Secondly, never meet up at their house or give them your address for a first date. Do not do that. Meet at a neutral, well-populated location where you feel safe and comfortable, maybe your favorite coffee shop or an art museum. Thirdly, share your location with a trusted friend or family member. If you have an iPhone, you can do this through the Messages app by starting a new message to your friend or family member. Tap the apps button, then location, then share my location. My two best friends know where I am always, 24/7. You can do this on an Android phone as well. Just Google how to do it. I don't know Android. I don't speak that language. Also, let a friend or family member know where you're going and how long you're planning to be out. Ask them to check in with you and make sure you get home safely. Have a plan. Always make sure you let someone know when you're back and that you have someone checking in on you. I keep pepper spray on my keychain. You can buy this pretty affordably through Amazon. I've never had to use it, but it's always good to have a backup plan. Lastly here, trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Don't ever try to make something work that isn't feeling right or good to you. It is more than okay to leave a date early, to leave in the middle of it. You can say something like, "This isn't quite what I'm looking for, and I need to go." You don't have to offer any other information other than that. Dating has been a great opportunity for me to practice clear communication and speaking up for what I want and need. That's probably been the scariest part of the whole process for me. I'm getting better at it, but it's still a struggle. One funny story, I told you I would tell one. I went on a first date, let's say with a guy named Sebastian, and I did not follow my own protocol of FaceTiming beforehand. I knew as soon as he got out of the car and walked towards me, I was like, oh no, we are not going to vibe. We're not going to vibe. Totally different energies. And he felt very clingy. But we were at an art museum. It was a beautiful day. I was like, I'll walk around for 30 minutes and just hear him out, see what he's about. Kept getting more and more awkward. We were sitting outside on a park bench looking at this statue, and it was like this cartoon situation where every time I looked back towards him, he was an inch closer to me. And he kept doing that and kept doing that and kept doing that until he was right beside me. And I could see his hand like kind of warming up to try and hold my hand or put his arm around me. I don't know what he was going to try to do. He's going to try to make contact in some way. And I definitely was not putting out the vibe that I wanted that. But needless to say, he was going to go for it. I kept inching a little bit the other way. And meanwhile, during some point of this, I was texting my best friend who was coming up with a fake emergency situation. I didn't want to have to use it. I hate to lie. And I had a feeling that this guy was autistic as well. And he just was really not good at reading social cues. I have so much grace and empathy for that. And it got in the way of me being able to speak up and just say what I wanted and needed in the moment. So I stayed much longer than I wanted to, endured much more awkwardness than I wanted to. Right when it felt like I could not handle the awkwardness much longer, he said, "Hey, this has been really nice. You're a great person. I'd really like to see where this goes." And I had to look him in the eye and say, "I'm so sorry. This just isn't what I'm looking for." And it killed me, but I cannot tell you how happy I was to get out of there. So, lesson learned, FaceTime first. Make sure that you really know a little bit about a person before you actually meet them. Because even if they sound great in messages, a lot of times it doesn't line up with what actually happens in person. Take it from me. Lastly, I want to share some ways that dating has really enhanced my life as an autistic woman. So I married my high school boyfriend and we were together for 17 years. I really had zero dating experience prior to this. So dating post-divorce has given me opportunities to figure out what I want and don't want in a partner, opportunities to figure out things I love about myself on my own, how my avoidant attachment style comes out when I start connecting with someone. This is what therapy's been about lately. It's been a very hard realization for me, and how to identify and communicate my needs. This still makes me very uncomfortable, but I'm slowly getting better at it. And it's one of the most important skills that I've learned in my life. It's terrifying, but very important. I've also found it to be a great way to learn how to unmask. On first dates, I can be anybody that I want to be. And that's true for the second and third date as well. But honestly, it's a great opportunity to lean into who I know myself to be without trying to meet anyone else's expectations. And if the other person doesn't like me, that's fine. It's just information that helps me know that this isn't the right person for me. If there is a connection, it's a great opportunity for me to get clearer about what's important to me and to learn from another person's lived experiences and ways of navigating the world. It's been a really fun way to explore new parts of my city, and I've also been traveling more. It turns out that traveling can be fun when you communicate your needs and go with someone who proactively supports you in those things. It's a game changer. And the last thing I wanted to share is that dating has been a really difficult but empowering way for me to connect back to my body. So I tend to intellectualize pretty much everything, as I know many of you do, and this leaves me feeling very disconnected from my body. I live up here. And in dating, it helps me open myself up to a more physical side of healing. So, autistic individuals, we have all different types of preferences when it comes to touch, but I'm finding that holding hands, deep hugs, just sitting next to someone on the couch, all of these things are having a very healing effect on my body. And it's a type of healing that I can't access on my own. Again, my avoidant nature is not happy about that, but it is what it is. Okay, I shared an embarrassing dating story with you. I would love to hear your embarrassing dating stories if you're open to sharing them in the comments. I'd also love to hear any tips you have for navigating the dating world as an autistic person. The bottom line is to have fun, trust your gut, and speak up for what you want. This is your life, and you get to choose who gets to be a part of it. If this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. That helps the channel out so much. And check the link in the description for your very own boyfriend hoodie. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, I'm seeing someone.